on plane now and starting to get up to speed. In just moments away, the starter will be dropping the green flag and will be officially underway here today for the battle on the seas. Great shot right there. We've got the green flag and we are underway. High risk on the inside. First defense going to a slight lead, so high risk dropping back. First defense, risky business. Team Skater and Hydra going right out. Talon coming into the picture. That's Team Skater taking a quick lead. Going out with him is First Defense and Risky Business. Risky Business right there in the middle of your picture. That's First Defense looking very strong. We've got a very good start. Many boats jumping right out. Team Skater, First Defense, Risky Business. Hydra's looking good. Team Skater. Everyone is off to a very fast start. That's Team Skater right now with a several boat lead over some of the other competitors. They'll be running 5 laps today for a total of 90 miles. So the race organizers were very concerned about giving good coverage for the spectators on land, and with 5 passes by Mallory Square, the spectators are going to be treated to some very exciting viewing. Team Skater, First Defense, and Risky Business still there. Risky Business coming up on Team Skater, making his move right now. Neck and neck racing as they start to head out to Sand Key. So Risky Business right now taking a slight lead over Team Skater. As you can see simply by the color of the water, certainly totally different conditions here today in Florida as we experienced in New Jersey. Certainly a pleasure to be down here with some excellent offshore racing. Now we come up on Talon Comp 37. This is a 37-foot Talon powered by 3 260 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Gary Armington of Sarasota, Florida, who's also doing the throttles. And driving today is Rich Middleton, also of Sarasota. So the crew of Armington and Middleton making up the Talon Comp 37 P26. Talon Comp looking very good. Very comfortable in their race boat right now. On the very far outside of the race course, that's Risky Business, who we saw earlier on. And Wild Turkey on the outside of Risky Business. The very far outside, we've got Wild Turkey, Risky Business, and right now we're running with P26, Talon Comp 37. High Risk, First Defense, Wild Turkey, Hooters, all tough boats here today. Risky Business, as you see, hanging very strong with Talon right now. These boats are doing well in excess of 70 miles per hour. We've got beautiful conditions. Risky Business hanging strong. Wild Turkey is hanging with Risky Business on the outside of the race course. Gary Armington is doing a great job on the throttles. These Mercury motors are really responding to his commands right now. You can really get an idea of just how fast this boat's going, and the sound that these Mercuries are putting out. They're tuned to perfection right now, and Gary's doing a great job on the throttles. The Talon Comp 37 race team. As you can see, we are on the rougher leg of the race course right now. Certainly rougher here than it was on the inside, but nonetheless, these boats are doing very well in the rough seas right here. Now we come up on another P-boat, P-27, Risky Business. A little bit of a jump right there, slows them down momentarily, but they get back on plane and they're running very strong once again. Certainly gets the respect of the racers very quickly when you have a jump like that. P-27, Risky Business, running on the outside of Talon Comp 37. And there you see the gap between Risky Business and Talon Comp. Risky Business going all out to close some of that distance. P-27, Risky Business. It's a 32-foot skater catamaran powered by three 270 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Stephen Dorsich from Tahoe Paradise, California. George Gill is your driver, and on throttles it's John Bruno, also from Tahoe Paradise, California. The Risky Business race team. They're locked in a very fierce battle right now with Talon Comp. While Turkey is running very well, First Defense and High Risk are also right there at the present time. Hooters looking very strong, as well as Champion and Team Skater. Good job of throttling right there by John Bruno. Excellent. Came out of the water, backed off on it, hit the water, and right back down on that throttle. That's what it's all about, keeping those props when they're in the water moving at all times. The Risky Business race team chasing Talon Comp 37 at this stage of the race. Right there you get an idea of where the boats are. That's Talon in first place. Team Skater has gone by Risky Business on the outside, and Risky Business hanging in third place right now. So you've got Talon Comp, Team Skater, followed by Risky Business. But Risky Business right now, as you can see, is closing the gap between themselves and Team Skater. Talon Comp still holding off the challenges of Team Skater and Risky Business at this point in time. Risky Business definitely trying to make a move right now on Team Skater for second place. And right now we are on Team Skater. This is P32. It's a 32-foot Douglas Marine skater powered by three 240 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Offshore Technologies Incorporated from Rocky River, Ohio. Driving today is Russ Wilkin from Bluffton, Indiana. Your navigator is Tony Caligari from Lynbrook, New York, who is also doing the throttling. Tony Caligari had such great runs in the Ocean Outboard race team, and right now he's out here with Team Skater. Ocean Outboard is one of your exclusive skater dealers in the New York area, and Caligari's come out here to throttle this Team Skater right now for Offshore Technologies, Inc. Driver today, Russ Wilkin, and they seem to be doing very well right now. Team Skater. Tony Caligari has had some great races over the past several years in the Ocean Outboard race team. So combined right now with Bluffton, forming the Team Skater race team, they certainly plan on some big things here this week for racing. And if today's run is any indication, as you can see, they're running very strong and they're looking very competitive right now. They're certainly going to be a boat to reckon with here today. Team Skater race team. Locked in a very fierce battle right now with Risky Business that you saw earlier on, and they're both trying to track down Talon Comp 37. As the boats head into Mallory Square, it's become quite obvious that Team Skater has made his move and passed Talon Comp 37. So you've got Team Skater followed by Talon Comp 37 and Risky Business as we head into Mallory Square for the first time today since the start. They're going all out right now. They put it all the way down. It's flat, calm. It's a drag race as they go through Mallory Square. No speed limits here today. There you see some of the many spectators lining up along the pier, and the galleon in the pier house is just filled with people from all over the world who have come out here today to review this exciting battle on the seas. Team Skater, the first boat into Mallory Square. There you get an idea of just some of the many spectators lining Mallory Square, the galleon, and the pier house, which is the host for this week of racing. Team Skater putting on a great show for the spectators so far. And there you get an idea of the lead that they've extended over Talon Comp 37 and Risky Business running in third place. But Risky Business is really charging hard, and you see him go by Talon Comp 37 on the inside. Great move for the fans right there. So now it's Team Skater followed by Risky Business and Talon Comp in third place, just boat lengths behind Risky Business. Now we're back out with Team Skater once again. Wilkin and Caligari really seem to have their act together today. P32, Team Skater, having an excellent run here at the start of the race. Now we come up on some of the other boats who are locked in the fierce battle to take the lead. This is Wild Turkey and First Defense. First Defense is on the outside, Wild Turkey is on the inside. And there you get an idea of the distance between themselves and the lead boats. Unofficially, still in that lead pack, as you can see, we've got Risky Business, Team Skater, and Talon Comp. Team Skater still unofficially, we believe, in first place, followed by Risky Business and Talon Comp 37. But right now, it's a fierce battle for 4th and 5th place between Wild Turkey right there on the inside and First Defense on the outside of him. Let's highlight Wild 30. It's P35. It's a 30-foot Chris Cat powered by two 650 horsepower Engine Tech Chevrolet motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Frank Latch of Fairfield, New Jersey. Frank is also doing the throttling here today. Frank would like to extend a special thanks to Joe and Gary of Engine Tech. He'd also like to thank Lee Donovan and a very special thanks to his girlfriend Suzanne for all her patience and support in enabling Frank to come out here and do what he enjoys doing this entire year, and that's race offshore powerboats. Frank Latch Jr. is driving today, and Frank Latch himself is doing the throttling. Great battle going on right now with First Defense on the outside and Frank Latch's Wild Turkey on the inside. Frank Latch, a seasoned veteran who's been involved in so many exciting offshore powerboat races all the years. Who can forget the memorable campaigns he had with Gino Montrone's and Instant Air Freight? And right now, he's taken command of this boat under the banner of Wild Turkey Race Team, and it's all Frank Latch's dream doing what he's doing right now. He heads up the team, and it's a very competitive professional race team. P35, the Wild Turkey Race Team, and right there you saw him in a fierce battle with First Defense. First Defense made a move, Frank Latch responded and was able to hold off First Defense. Frank Latch, great throttle man in the Wild Turkey Race Team. Nice overhead shot of Wild Turkey. As you can see, Frank's enjoying a very good run here in Wild Turkey. A true picture of consistency. Doing an excellent job on the throttles. This Chris Cat seems to be performing very well here in the open seas. Present time, High Risk is starting to make his move right now on the field, and he's starting to enter the battle in the lead pack of boats. Very competitive right here in this class of boats. Team Skater, Talon Comp, Risky Business. High Risk making the move. First Defense, Wild Turkey locked in a fierce battle, and Frank Latch is doing an excellent job with his crew of Wild Turkey. Now the boat who's locked in a very tough duel with Wild Turkey, it's P555, the First Defense Race Team. This is a 32-foot Douglas Skater catamaran powered by three 275 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. And there's High Risk on the very far outside making his move. He's come up and he's joined the battle of the lead group of boats right now. First Defense, it's owned by Mike Novick of Detroit, Michigan, who is your throttles, and driving is Eddie Martinez from Miami Beach, Florida. Eddie, a seasoned veteran of Offshore Powerboat battles, who's allied himself with Novik to form the First Defense race team. Martinez and Novik making up a top championship flight race team, First Defense, and they're locked in a very fierce battle with another strong champion, High Risk race team. Rich Felson's High Risk race team took second place nationally in pro stock, and First Defense took third place nationally. So Novak and Felson are no strangers to each other here in the open waters. And just as they were all season, they're locked in a very fierce battle right now. First Defense on the inside, Felson's High Risk on the outside, running neck and neck. Super racing. And there you get some idea of the distance between themselves and the lead group of boats. Very small differences separating the top 5 boats right now in class. Extremely competitive racing here today. Felson's starting to take a slight lead over Novik's First Defense. But Novik will respond, and he'll definitely come back charging hard in First Defense as he has done all year. There you see him right now closing the gap. That's someone who has had a problem. They've pulled out of the race course. That was a close call, caused that other boat to veer further on the outside of the race course. Good thing no one got hurt. We'll have to try to get an update on that, who's out of the race. But Novik's First Defense running very strong as he starts moving on that lead group of boats. Mike Novik's First Defense race team, who has passed High Risk, who just saw that action earlier on, but High Risk coming back. It is a duel right now with Felson and Novik. What great competitors these guys have been for the entire year, and being that we're in the last week of racing, what more can we say? A picture of consistency with Mike Novik's First Defense race team taking on Felson's High Risk race team. First Defense looking very good right now. Novik's First Defense still running hard, and he is in a battle with Felson's High Risk. And there's Risky Business coming up. So Risky Business was the boat that had that mishap earlier on, but they're back on course and back in the action. So that's Risky Business back in the hunt, and there goes Frank Latch's Wild Turkey. Great shot there. And there you see the rest of the picture. You've got Risky Business followed by Wild Turkey, First Defense, High Risk, Talon, and Team Skater, all in the hunt. Great competition today. And now we come up on Champion Marine. This is P13. It's a 32-foot skater powered by 3 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Champion Marine of North Miami, Florida. On throttles today, you've got Jeff Sofer from North Miami, Florida, and Jim Cohn is your driver, also handling from the North Miami, Florida area. Champion Marine Race Team, P13. They're also right in the hunt. They're running in a fierce battle with Hooters. But High Risk, First Defense, Wild Turkey, Risky Business, Team Skater, all having strong runs right now. And Champion Marine with Hooters and Boardwalk are making a big move. Talon Comp is also running well. Hydrotech falling a bit off the pack, and Panama Jack is fading slightly. But P13, Champion Marine, looking very strong. They're trying to make a move right here and catch up with a lead group of boats. Right now they're running down the beach of Key West, where they'll be taking a right and heading through Mallory Square to give the fans a great sight. Champion Marine, located in North Miami, does have a lot of fans who have come down here to root for them, and they do an excellent job of high-performance rigging and racing with race boats in the North Miami, Florida area. Champion Marine, Jeff Sofer and Jim Cohn. And that's Team Hydra falling off the pack right now. As you just saw, they're coming off plane, very much down on power, as Champion Marine went right by them. Tough break for Team Hydra. Champion Marine letting it all hang out as it goes through Mallory Square. Just as it's a treat for the spectators to view these offshore powerboat boats as they go through the area, it's certainly a pleasure for the drivers who, after so many miles being out in the open seas, they get to show their stuff in front of the crowd. So they enjoy it going through the square just as much as the spectators like viewing it. Now we come up on Cayo Motown, the S70. It is a 24-foot yellow skater powered by 2 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and throttled by Neil Red Crane from Mount Clemens, Michigan, and Mike Horn from Key West, Florida is driving. A local driver here today hooked up with Crane in Cayo Motown. They would like to extend a special thanks to Anna Beck for making this all possible. Unfortunately, she could not run with Neil today because of a broken wrist, but she was able to get Neil Red Crane together with Mike Horn of Key West, Florida for this week of racing to make Cayo Motown certainly a strong contender. Red is racing this whole week for his mother Marge Crane and sister Ann and Tony Crane, who will all live in Key West. He would also like to extend a special thanks to Kevin Mathis from Emerald City Marine in St. Clair Shores for having the boat prepared for this week of racing. So as you can see, it's certainly a group effort behind Cayo Motown to make them the strong running boat that they are today. Neil Red Crane's Cayo Motown having a good run in the Battle on the Seas in Key West, Florida. Cayo Motown is running in the semi-pro number 2 class. He's in a fierce battle right now with endangered species and hyperactive. The boats also running in that class are Assault, Panther, and Contratac. Cayo Motown right now is unofficially in second place behind Endangered Species, but they're running neck and neck. Very little distance separates the first 2 boats in this class. And Hyperactive is unofficially in third place right now, also running very strong. Semi-Pro 2 as well as Semi-Pro Run is a very competitive and closely paired race boats right now. S70, Neil Red Crane's Cayo Motown. Now we're coming up on another boat that's dueling in the semi-pro number 2 group. It is S-125. Here we have it, the Assault Race Team. It's a 25-foot Motion Cat yellow boat with a light blue trim. Very good looking right there. This is powered by two 200 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. And from my vantage point right here on that port Mercury motor, the skeg seems to have broken off, but it does not seem to be hampering their performance at this stage in the race. This boat is owned by Robert Golan of Miami, Florida. Driving today is Ed Shear, and Golan is doing the throttles. So the team of Golan and Shear making up the Assault Race Team. And right now they are trying to mount an assault on Hyperactive, who is unofficially ahead of them in 3rd place, but they are holding off Panther, and Conch Attack at this point in the race has dropped out of competition. So the field has been narrowed down to 5 boats at this point in time. It's a strong battle in semi-pro number 2 with Endangered Species, Kayo Motown, who we just saw, Hyperactive, Assault, who's in your picture right now, and Panther in this group. In the semi-pro 1 group that we were covering early on, High Risk, First Defense, Wild Turkey, Risky Business, Hooters, Champion Marine are all locked in a very competitive battle in that category. But the story right now is the Assault Race Team, and they are charging hard toward that lead group of boats, basically mounting an assault. And they are living up to their name as they try to take on the lead group of boats in semi-pro number 2. We certainly wish Golan and Shear all the best in the Assault Race Team here today in beautiful Key West, Florida. Now we come up on C-34, the Panther Race Team. This is a 30-foot Wellcraft with custom race hull powered by 500 horsepower Stotler Performance engines of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and is sponsored by Al's Custom Interiors, Billows Electric Supply, and Summit Truck Service. This boat is owned and throttled by John Stanch of Pennsauken, New Jersey. Todd Owen is your driver, and Mike Macaluso is your navigator. C-34, the Panther Race Team, is your 1987 Northeast Divisional Champion in Sportsman C class with owner John Stanch of Pennsauken, New Jersey at the throttles. John Stanch is well-known as one of the more intense competitors on the circuit this year. And on his last outing, he unfortunately bent his throttles in half, going for a win. He doesn't cut any slack in the rough stuff, as you can see right here. This boat is running extremely strong. The driver today is Todd Owen of Washington, D.C., who is known as the fastest attorney in Offshore. Todd Owen is on loan from the Lucky Strike Offshore Racing Team, where he serves a triple role as co-driver, riding crew member, and team attorney on Lucky Strike Superboat number 45. Certainly a valuable guy to have on any race team. Both Stanch and Owen are doing an excellent job of handling this boat in these sea conditions. Our airspeed right now is approximately 70 miles per hour plus, and they're moving into second place with the majority of their class well behind them and definitely off the pace at this time. We're into the third lap, and if the boat stays together, they've got a great chance of winning the race since they are now closing on the first place boat in their class. We certainly wish John Stanch and Todd Owen all the best here today in the Panther Race Team as they're making their move on the lead group in the Battle on the Seas in beautiful, scenic Key West, Florida. John Stanch's Panther Race Team. As you can see, Stanch, Owen, and Macaluso are doing a great job here in the Panther Race Team. We just hope that Stanch does not break or bend the throttle control in half as he goes for the win here today, because he definitely needs to have everything stay together to go victorious here today. The Panther Race Team. Now we go to a boat who is locked in a very fierce duel with the Panther Race Team. It's S60, the hyperactive race team. This is a 24-foot skater powered by two 260 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Tom Slamika from Athens, Georgia, who is doing your driving, and on throttles, we've got David Cutler from Fairplay, South Carolina. So the team from Georgia and South Carolina forming the hyperactive race team here today. And they're presently having somewhat of a hyperactive run, I would have to say. They have a very good average speed going right now, well over 60 miles per hour, and they're locked in a very fierce battle with Cayo Motown and Assault and the Panther Race Team, who you just saw. Very competitive. Starting to go by the beach in Key West, and soon he'll be turning into Mallory Square, where everyone's adrenaline starts to pump very strong. The drivers enjoy it, the spectators enjoy it, and what more can you say? It's certainly exciting in offshore powerboat racing. Tough jump right there, but no problem for them back on course. That was Team Skater, who you saw dead in the water. That hyperactive just went by. Tough break for the Team Skater race team. They went out very strong earlier on in the race, but they were not able to finish today. Tough break for them. But the story right now is hyperactive as he goes flying through Mallory Square. The hyperactive race team putting on a show for the fans. Hyperactive is just going by Assault, who unfortunately was dead in the water. Their assault has come to an end, but Hyperactive is moving strong, and you just saw some of the pack behind Hyperactive race team. Hyperactive running very strong right now. He seems to be dominating in certain areas of the race. We wish him all the best, and we'll have to see how things unwind here today. The Hyperactive race team. Now we come up to some of the boats in the semi-pro number 3 group. This is B54, the Great Adventure Race Team. It's a 31-foot Sutphen powered by two 454-horsepower Innovation Marine inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Bill Gazelle of Bricktown, New York. Rich Sutphen Jr. from Cape Coral, Florida is your navigator, and David Greaves from Topsfield, Massachusetts is on throttles. An excellent bunch of guys right here. Dave Greaves, so very generous to us all, and he does a fine job in running the race at Newburyport. And he's a good friend of Freeze Frame Video, and we certainly appreciate being associated with Dave Greaves, Bill Gazelle, and the rest of the Great Adventure Race Team. In the semi-pro number 3 group, there's some tough battles going on right now. You've got Cracked Conch, Team Spirit, Hot Ticket running neck and neck. Dam Donzie is there. Great Adventures in a fierce duel with Dam Donzie right now, and Headhunter. Ricochet, Ken Oils, Vanishing Point, and B-Wave did have a bit of a disappointing day. B-Wave not in the competition right now. Vanishing Point has faded out. Ken's Oil is having some trouble. But Ricochet, Headhunter, Great Adventure, and On Your Way Up to the rest of the field are all in the thick of things right now, and it's very competitive racing. Great Adventure is closing the gap right now between himself and Dam Donzie for one of the top few spots here in the semi-pro number 3 group. Bill Gazelle, Rich Sutphen, and David Greaves enjoying a good run right now in Key West aboard the Great Adventure Race Team. We certainly wish them all the best. Great Adventure does not seem to be running as fast as he was earlier on. There could be some problems with that starboard motor, right now, because he's certainly not running as fast as he was when we first picked him up on the race course. Tough break for Great Adventure. They're having a very good run up until this point in time. And now we come up on one of their main competitors, B37 Team Spirit. It's a 31-foot Spirit sport boat powered by two 500-horsepower Rogers Engine Works inboards with Mercruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Dean Stallman of Naples, Florida. Russell Stallman from Naples is your navigator, and Roger Munn, also from Naples, is on throttles. Spirit Boat is a brand new boat company in Naples, Florida, and right here they are racing the production model of this boat. And as you can see, it's performing very well. They're unofficially in first or second place right now. We're not 100% sure, but they are dominating right now and running very, very strong in class. They had a very good 89 campaign. They took a second in D class and a second overall in Sarasota. They had a first in C class and a first overall in St. Petersburg. First in C class and a first overall in Ayamarada. So as you can see, the team of Stallman and Munn, making up Team Spirit, have enjoyed some very good racing throughout the 89 campaign here in the local waters in Florida. So they certainly are looking forward to having a good race here today, as well as on Saturday's final race. B37, the Team Spirit race team, having a very good run here today in Key West, Florida, and we wish them nothing but the best. B37, Team Spirit. A very fine run. Roger Munn's doing an excellent job on the throttles right here. Stallman and Munn making up this team. What can we say? They had a great year, and they're really putting it all here together for this week of racing. They're in a fierce battle right now with Crack Conch, Team Spirit, Hot Ticket, Damn Donzie, and Great Adventures, all locked in a very fierce battle for the semi-pro number 3 class winner here today. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, because we are starting to draw to the closing stages of the final leg of today's race. And in this class, Crack Conch, Team Spirit, and Hot Ticket are going all out. That was Champion Marine down in the water earlier on. Tough break for them. That's Champion Marine in semi-pro number 1 class, who had a tough break here today. But they will be back on Saturday to try to atone for today's loss. But Dean Stallman, along with Russell Stallman and Roger Munn, enjoying a very fine run in Team Spirit. Close-up look of the Spirit Special crew. There they are going under the freeze frame copter. Paul, our pilot from Biscayne, doing a great job here today. On the outside, that's endangered species, and on the inside, it's Crack Conch, who is having a very strong run. Crack Conch is locked in a fierce battle with Team Spirit, who you just saw earlier on. Let's highlight B41. It's the Crack Conch race team. This is a 28-foot Manta powered by two 275 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by George Cabañas of Key West, Florida. Billy Cabañas is your navigator, and Ronnie Martinez, also from Key West, is on throttles. So obviously this is a local entry, very familiar here with the waters off Key West, and obviously a crowd favorite in the semi-pro number 3 category. Crack Conch, and they are having a good run. It's too close to call right now between themselves and Team Spirit, because they're locked in one of the fiercest battles going on the race course right now. We'll have to see who prevails. Is it going to be Crack Conch or the Team Spirit Special and the semi-pro number 3 group? But right now, Crack Conch is going all out. They're giving it everything they have. They have the home crowd behind them. They're familiar with the waters, as we said earlier on, and they're looking very strong, just as Team Spirit did earlier on. But right now the story is Cabañas and Martinez in Crack Conch going strong toward the checkered flag. We certainly wish them all the best, the Crack Conch race team. At the present time, we have noticed that Team Spirit is experiencing some mechanical difficulty. They are slightly off the speed that they've been setting earlier on, and Crack Conch right now is moving into first place. So that's a tough break for Team Spirit, but a good break for Crack Conch. Now we'll have to see if they can hold it and take it to the checkered flag. From Key West, Florida, the Crack Conch race team. Now coming underneath the freeze frame copter, it's B99 Dam Donzi. This is a 32-foot Donzi powered by two 440 horsepower OMC inboard motors with OMC drives. This boat is owned by Donzi Marine from Onico, Florida. Driving today is John McCoy. Your navigator is Michael Hamilton, and John McCoy is also doing the throttling. The Dam Donzi race team. And they're presently unofficially in fourth place behind Crack Conch, Team Spirit, Hot Ticket. However, they are holding off Great Adventure, who we saw earlier on, and we'll have to see how this one pans out for your fourth place spot. B99, the Dam Donzi race team. 89 has been relatively good to the Dam Donzi race team. In some of the local races here this year, they took a first in St. Petersburg and a first in Sarasota, with Kathy Gant as at the helm driving the Dam Donzi race team. But right now they're out here today with John McCoy and Mike Hamilton forming today's duo for the Dam Donzi race team. We wish them all the best for the remainder of the week of racing. Dam Donzi, as they're starting to head toward Mallory Square on their final lap. Soon we'll be coming to the closes of today's stage on the first leg of the race. We'll be compiling our results and bringing them to you in just moments. But right now we're going to stay with Dam Donzi as they head towards Mallory Square, and we'll try to pick up any remaining boats that we haven't covered yet. Dam Donzi going through Mallory Square right now, and on the far outside, that's First Defense charging very hard as he goes through the square. First Defense is still locked in that battle with high risk that was being raged earlier on. So Dam Donzi is finished for the day. Unofficially, they could be in 4th place, but we'll just have to wait for the final results. Now we're on B40, the Headhunter race team. This is a 26-foot Corsa powered by two 200-horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Maria Lloyd of Miami, Florida. Peter Lloyd from Miramar, Florida is on throttles. Carmine Morano from Pembroke Pines, Florida is your navigator. And Mike McCrary from Miami is your driver. The Headhunter race team. Well, we've already seen some of the other boats in the semi-pro number 3 group. Dam Donzi, who just finished, Great Adventure has come in. Tough break for them. They finished on one motor, which was certainly a disappointment because they were running so strong. But they had to settle for 5th place. But right now, with Headhunter coming into Mallory Square, they will unofficially finish in 6th place if everything remains the same as it has. So overall, it was a good run for them. They do pick up points because anything can happen in your final day of racing Saturday. Don't forget, the point totals double on Saturday's race. So getting points today is very important, but Saturday is certainly what it's all about. And the crew of Headhunter realizes this, so they want to finish strong here in Mallory Square. Little chime walking right there for the crowd. He's coming in, and he's going to be finishing up. So in just moments away, we're going to compile the results, and we will be bringing you the final results of the first leg of racing in the Bud Light Battle on the Seas in Key West, Florida.